morning, Laura, or when you see this, probably good evening. I just woke up, as you might see. First things first, I knew that the green book joke was coming. I have a request because I really want to read Hank's books. So if you haven't read them yet, I think it would be interesting if we both read them and do separate videos about them. The same with John's new book, because I think it will be coming out next month. But I decided not to talk about books today because I had some interesting thoughts I really want to share. I'm not sure if I will be able to put them into a video because these thoughts are quite big. But let's get right to it. Here is why I have been thinking about these thoughts. I have been quite busy this week. I actually had to physically go to university on Monday and Tuesday for 10 hours. But it wasn't as horrible as it sounded because the course, it was basically just acting a lot, because we just practice talking to people who have mental illnesses or addiction. I don't even really mind that we will be having an exam on Saturday morning about it because I really enjoyed the subject. I loved the teacher. It was amazing. But I was busy the whole day, and also we had a lot to do with our first charity stream. We raised more than 900 euros through our Versteigerung. And I know that this pun doesn't work in English, but whatever. It was really fun, and there are 2 more to go. Request here. We really need to talk about that PubQuiz because I want to know whether we want to do it or not. Feel free to text me. I won't give you any punishment for that because I think that would be a fair exception. Also, I had to do a lot of things for my scholarship applications, like interviews and stuff like that, and also I'm currently hosting a huge sports event for the next 5 weeks, and I'm giving training sessions and things like that. So to sum it up, I am really busy, and sometimes I get quite stressed out about that. But I sat down and thought about it for a moment, and I noticed that I actually like being that busy at the moment because it kind of gives me purpose. And I think purpose is something that we're all missing in this pandemic because we are just confused all the time. But it got me thinking a lot about the purpose of life. And I had an interesting conversation with our dear friend who watches the Marvel series with us. We talked a lot about religion and the universe, like not Jack's book, the universe. By the way, talking about Jack. So this happened, and I decided that at some point I want to do a video where I read all of Jack's favorite books, because that is kind of the thing he does with celebrities, and I'm quite intrigued to read what he reads, so maybe this video will come here. However, we didn't talk about that universe, we talked about the real universe, and I try to share my thoughts now. And this is quite difficult because they are so big I just can't put them down on paper, but I will try to put some of these thoughts into a video now, so let's see, I guess. So first of all, it is important to know that I do not think that there is a purpose of life. I'm a strong believer in the fact that each and every one of us has to define the purpose of life for themselves. And this sounds very cheesy, but I think it's true. And also I really like the comparison between human beings and stars. So what are stars doing? They are floating around in the universe, and their whole purpose is to exist, to shine, to waste energy and burn themselves to death. And I don't think that this is very different from us, because basically we are walking around here on Earth. We will die at some point, and all we do in between is walk around, waste energy, and burn ourselves to death. And I think that wasting energy is not only the purpose of stars, I think wasting energy is the purpose of life. So I think all we do from the point of our birth to the point of our death is wasting energy. And I think wasting energy is the purpose of life. And what I said in the beginning, that you have to define your own purpose of life, I think deciding how you want to waste your energy is your personal purpose of life. I know that this can be quite a depressing thought, but for me it's quite uplifting, because when you die at some point, what you will do, then it doesn't really matter what you do in between. So yes, this can be depressing, but you can also just turn it around and say, okay, why shouldn't I do the things I really want to do? Because I will die at some point. And I also thought a lot about life after death, and I still don't know whether I believe in it or not, but I noticed that people who say that they can't imagine just not existing, they don't really have a point. Because for example, you can't even remember the first 3 years of your life. And also you can't remember the billion years years before you were born, so why should you have some kind of conscience after you die? And I think my favorite description of what eternity feels like is if you close your eyes and just count to 1, that is what eternity feels like. So I don't really have a summary for all of this, but I just wanted to share these thoughts with you, I think. And I hope you have a nice week, and I hope I didn't cause an existential crisis. And I will see you on Tuesday, or read a text from you when you want to discuss the pub quiz. Bye!